Okay, seat yourself onto your lift and then come into a good cross-legged position. Have a little wiggle about, make sure that you're consciously even at the hips. Hold onto your knees and lift up into the chest. So that levelness at the hips doesn't necessarily come straight away. So sit holding onto your knees, lifting the chest upwards. Just observe the balance of the seat bones, just trying to tune yourself into the subtlety of the feeling of the seat bones. And then after being there for a little while, just move the buttock flesh out to the sides a little if you need to, and then just find that levelness. Elevate the heart area upwards and draw your shoulders down. Take deep inhalations that you draw from the bottom of the lungs to the top, and you allow the chest to expand with the in-breath and to relax with the out-breath. Focus on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, allowing the chest to expand to accommodate the breath. So that expansion is in 360 degrees, but try not to let the shoulders raise as you inhale. Keep the shoulders down. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Continue to fill the lungs from the bottom to the top, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Excuse me. Excuse me. So filling your lungs from the bottom to the top, feeling the chest expand to accommodate the breath. Consciously bringing in energy from the lungs, energy from the breath. With an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest. Lift your chest to meet the chin. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area And then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, peacefulness, physical intelligence. And then raise your head. Allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. So hold on to your knees and bear with me a second. Hold on to your knees and elevate the heart area upwards. Elevate the heart area upwards and draw your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation through the nose, and with the exhalation, draw the chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest. Consciously drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation, and with the exhalation, raise your chin to the ceiling. Take a deep inhalation, and then with the exhalation, come back down, bring the chin to the chest, shoulders away from the ears, just stretching out the back of the neck. Take a deep inhalation, and with the exhalation, raise the chin to the ceiling, stretching out the front of the neck. And with an exhalation, bring the chin back level, just looking directly forwards. Take a deep inhalation, and then draw the right ear over towards the right shoulder, but keeping the shoulders down so you feel that tremendous stretch along that left side of the neck. Take a deep inhalation, and then with the exhalation, bring the left ear over towards the left shoulder, stretching the right side of the neck. Trying to keep the seat bones level at the same time so you don't become, it's not like you suddenly start leaning over to the left side. The seat bones maintain your levelness. Deep inhalation, and then with the exhalation, come back to the center and over to the right side. Again, just observing the balance of the seat bones, keeping the torso between the two hips so that the seat bones remain balanced rather than leaning over. And then take a deep inhalation, with the exhalation, come back to the center and over to the left. So just stretching out the muscles around the neck, maintaining the balance of the seat bones, keeping the breath deep and conscious coming back to the center. Just keep the chest looking forwards. Take a deep inhalation, and then draw the chin over towards the right side, keeping the chest looking forward. Take a deep inhalation, come back to the center and over to the left with the chin. Again, remaining mindful of the seat bones. Maintaining that levelness of the seat bones. Take a deep inhalation, with the exhalation, come back to the center and again over to the right. Take a deep inhalation, and then across to the front and over to the left. And then with an exhalation, come back to the center. This time I want you to keep your chin in line with your chest. We're going to turn from the abdomen, from the ribs, from the shoulders. Lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area, take a deep inhalation, and then turn the whole of the torso to the left, drawing your abdomen across, your ribs across your shoulders, but keeping the neck soft. Not looking over the right shoulder, just looking forwards. Just observe where there is resistance. Observe where there isn't. And balance your attention between the area of resistance or the areas of resistance and the feeling of freedom elsewhere within the physical body. And as soon as you balance your attention between that resistance and the areas of non-resistance, then the perception of the initial resistance changes. Just maintaining levelness at the seat bones, keeping the torso between the two hips. Come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. Observing whether the resistance is different. Maybe there's more, maybe there's less. But maintain that balance of the seat bones. So it's all too easy as we turn to just kind of roll over to the left side. But we can use the seat bones as our spirit level. Drawing the abdomen across the ribs and the shoulders, using the out breath to intensify the turn. Keeping the chest lifted up away from the hips. And then gently come back to the center. And come off your lift and sit yourself back onto your heels. Big toes together, knees apart, lift up into the chest, and then maintaining that connection between the seat bones and the heels, come forwards into virasana. Lifting the chest, keeping the head lifted as you come forwards, hitting the seat bones back down onto the heels. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, and then come up into svanasana. Working to straighten the legs by tightening the kneecaps, lifting the fronts of the thighs up to the tops of the thighs. If your knees overextend, then just work on the thighs rather than the knees. Don't overextend your knees. Push the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Turn the fronts of your thighs inward so that the heels start to separate. Push the palms into the floor and elevate the seat bones and the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying them from the top to the bottom. Step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position. Have the blocks for your hands so you can reach the floor more easily. Bring the feet as wide apart as your mat. Just make sure that your toes are in line with you, in line with each other in front of you. Have your hands on your hips and then hit the heels outwards so that your heels are definitely touching the edge of the mat. You can feel that the heels are touching the edge of the mat. You can feel that the little toes are touching the edge of the mat. So using your physical intelligence to know where the physical body is in 3 dimensions. Tighten your kneecaps, lift up into the chest, really raising the chest up to the ceiling, squeezing the shoulder blades together, keep the head lifted, keep the back straight, keep the chest lifted as you hinge at the hips. And then reach down, find the blocks. So many of us can go down lower than this, but it's good to start here, especially on a Monday when we haven't done any yoga probably over the weekend. Just lift the thighs, lift the seat bones, project the chin and the chest forwards. Try and concave in the shoulder blades. Often there's this kind of shape. It's a bit like doing the cat pose. I want you to do the cow pose, lifting the seat bones and the tailbone up towards the ceiling, and then lifting from the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin, lifting the sternum bone forwards. If you can go down lower, then do, but at the same time as maintaining that cow pose, lifting up, projecting the chin and the chest forward. If you can reach down to the floor without losing that extension, then do. But the priority is to maintain that extension. If you find that you kind of lose the extension like this, bent knees, rounded back, and go back higher onto a higher lift. Just projecting the chin and the chest forward. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Hands into your hips and then come up into your standing position and then come into Tadasana. So the inner edge of the feet together, big toes touching, your heels touching, tighten the kneecaps, turn the fronts of the thighs inwards, lift the thighs. So it's like a tube of toothpaste, you're trying to squeeze the legs up into the chest. Lengthen the shoulders away from your ears. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Stretch your arms forwards, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms over your head. Extend your arms to the ceiling, squeeze the outer elbows in. Try and wing the elbows beyond your ears. Release and swap the interlock of your fingers. Turn the palms all the way out and then raise your arms over your head. Again, trying to wing the elbows beyond your ears, but keeping your weight in your heels at the same time. Turn the fronts of the legs inwards. Tuck the tailbone in. Draw the belly button towards the spine. Draw the lower ribs towards the spine. Lift the chest. Lift out of the feet. Lift your toes. And then gently release your arms, stretch your arms down to the floor. Just feel perhaps how your arms have come back to life. There's warmth and energy in the bones and in the skin of the arms. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump your feet apart nice and wide. Turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out, and then come down into trikonasana. Turn the fronts of the legs outwards this time, not inwards like in Tadasana, but outwards, so that you can bring that front leg buttock bone forwards, hit the back leg towards the wall behind you. If you look up, then it helps you to clear the sinuses. Turn the abdomen up towards the ceiling. So this top arm, I've run out of ceiling height really, but it's ideally in line with the top shoulder, the bottom arm. You're reaching up into that top hand. Come back to the centre, keep your arms outstretched, swap the feet around, turn the right toes in, and the left leg and foot all the way out. Turn in this front of the leg especially, from the inside out, from the big toe side to the little toe side. Keep turning that leg as you reach over. Just feel how your body responds to the pose. Maybe there's resistance where there isn't normally. Just acknowledge that. We use our yoga poses to learn how our body is feeling, and to work accordingly to open it up. But you might feel, I can feel my hamstrings here feeling really tight today. Not quite sure why. It doesn't really matter why, it just is. And so you can push with the out breath into areas of resistance. Draw your attention beyond that resistance without just, we're not ignoring it, we're just acknowledging it. Draw your attention into areas of non-resistance. Come back to the centre, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump the feet back together. Just come back into Tadasana, just lifting the chest. So in Tadasana, we turn the fronts of the legs inwards. That gives you space to tuck the tailbone in so that the pelvis, the front rim of the pelvis lifts up a little. Lift the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone. Lengthen your arms down to the floor. Okay, grab yourself a belt and then put the belt over your right shoulder. And then come back into Tadasana. So we can do gomukhsasana at the head of the cow, really good shoulder opener. So just come into Tadasana, just feel that you're lifting evenly. You're lifting out of the floor and upwards. You're an arrow pointing to the sky. Stretch your left arm forwards, really spread in the palms. Try not to disturb the shoulders too much as you bring that arm forwards. Try not to kind of lengthen that shoulder forwards. Turn the palm all the way out, consciously rotating the upper arm in the socket. That's the really important bit for this. So as you reach away, keep rotating that upper arm in the socket, even if it makes you drop your chest a little as you come around. Keep rotating that upper arm in the socket, and then at the last minute bend the elbow and assist the hand up the back. And then with the other arm reach up, bend the elbow, but keep the elbow high, and then reach and see if you can take hold. If you can't take hold, just use the belt, that's what it's there for. So take hold of the hand or the belt, And then go back to your Tadasana. Don't forget your Tadasana. Turn the front of the legs inwards, tighten the knees. Tuck the tailbone in, draw the belly button to the spine, the lower ribs to the spine. Lift the top elbow to the ceiling, pull the bottom elbow down to the floor. Filling the lungs evenly. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Breathing into both lungs evenly. Having a little tug of war between the two elbows. Bottom elbow to the floor, top elbow to the ceiling. After you've been there for a little while, maybe see if you can creep your hands a little bit closer together. Some people can get hold of the opposite wrist. So if you're using the belt, creep the hands together a little more. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Pull in the elbows apart. Fill in the lungs like we were doing right at the beginning. From the bottom to the top, feeling the chest expand. Breathing into both lungs evenly. Breathing out of both lungs evenly. Okay, release the top arm. That's the easy one. Then drop the chest a little. Just gently allow that other arm to release. It might feel like it's stuck. Don't worry, it's not. And then just stretch into your hands. Lift up into the chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. And then just put the belt over onto the right side, onto the other side. I think I said right side last time. Yeah, so that's the left side. Lift up into the chest, and then bring your right arm forwards. Spread the fingers. Turn the palm. And again, rotate really consciously that upper arm. As you rotate, it's not just the wrist. Rotate from the upper arm in the socket. Then keep that upper arm rotation. Even if you drop the chest, keep your arm high until at the last minute you bend the elbow and then assist the hand up towards the neck. Reach up, you'll feel the remnants of the last pose, so just stretch out of it, feels good. And then bend the top elbow, and then see if you can take hold. Now on this side for me, this lower shoulder is always a little tighter, so I always go for the belt to start off with. So I've got the belt here, and then after a little while, you can kind of creep your hands a little bit closer together. So usually by the end of pose, I've got my hands together, but there's no point in pushing yourself into the pose if the body isn't ready to go there. So pull the elbows apart, lift the top elbow to the ceiling, the bottom elbow to the floor, and as you stay, just creep the hands a little closer together, keeping the breath even. Deep and even. Just keep creeping the hands together. Just listening to the breath. Keeping your Tadasana, turning the fronts of the legs inwards, tucking the tailbone in, drawing the belly button to the spine, the lower ribs to the spine, pulling the elbows apart. Fill in the lungs evenly. And then release with the top arm. Just drop the chest to release the other arm. And then come back into Tadasana. Turn the palms all the way out, stretch into the fingers. Breathing evenly into both lungs. Evenly out of both lungs. Just listening to the breath. Just observing your Tadasana. And adjusting. So if you're sticking your tailbone out, then tuck the tailbone in. If you're pushing your lower ribs forwards, draw the belly button to the spine, the lower rib to the spine, and then elevate the heart area upwards. Just observe what you are doing and make corrections. Keeping the weight in your heels, in the center of the heels if you can. Okay, and then just gently release. Just remove the belt and just feel how the arms and the shoulders are full of energy. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Come down onto the floor and down into dog down. So have your hands shoulder width apart, have the step back, have the feet hip width apart. Just place your hands really precisely with the middle finger pointing up towards 12 o'clock, the thumbs stretching towards each other, the little fingers stretching away from each other. Pressing the finger knuckles into the floor, turn your toes under, and then come up into dog down. Observe whether you make gross adjustments. I don't mean gross as in disgusting, I mean large adjustments. I always want to turn my right hand out a little bit. I can feel the hands in connection with the floor, so I'm trying to keep them in line, in the right place. Lift the knees, lift the thighs. Press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Feel how there's fluidity in the shoulders where perhaps there wasn't earlier on. Maybe there isn't. Just observe how it feels different now to how it felt at the beginning. Breathe in through the nose, fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top. Lift the seat bones up towards the ceiling, keep the kneecaps lifted, keep the fronts of the thighs lifting, and then just a little bit at a time, keeping the seat bones lifted, keeping the tailbone lifted. Maybe try and bring the heels down a little, but keeping the backs of the legs lifting up towards the seat bones lifting up towards the sky. So just coming down gently. I can easily bring my heels down to the floor, but then my legs drop. I know that the legs drop because the creases at the fronts of between the shins and the feet start appearing, which means that you're dropping your legs. So just bringing your heels down gradually, and then lifting the shin skin to the kneecaps, lifting the kneecaps to the thighs, lifting the thighs up into the hip socket. And then bring your knees back down onto the floor. Observe whether you have kind of moved one of the hands into a different direction or whether they're still in position. And then sit back on your heels for a moment. Just observe your energy. So if your hand moved out of position, maybe it was because you were thinking of the heels and you maybe forgot about the hands. So when I really think about it, I can always keep that hand in position, and it doesn't feel so weird in the shoulder after a little while. At first it feels weird in the shoulders, but these were just all observations that we use within our practice. Come forwards into Adho Mukha Virasana, lengthening forwards, keeping the chest lifted, keeping the head lifted initially, and then bring forehead down, but maintaining that lift of the front chest, maintaining the seat bones connection to the heels. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, push yourself up into a seated position. And sitting back on your heels. Just observing how your energy has changed. Just listening to the breath. Observing the breath. Okay, just sit yourself in crossed legs or in half padmasana if you can do it. Have a couple of blocks to your side. If you roll onto the back of the seat bones like this and you kind of sink in the chest, then sit on a folded blanket or on a lift, on a cushion. So hold onto your knees and just roll onto the back edge of the seat bones for a moment. And then roll over onto the front edge of the seat bones so that you start to lift up into the chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Feel the balance of the seat bones. Maybe just move the buttock flesh out to the side a little so that you got even access with the seat bone. Okay, I want you to reach underneath the right knee with the right hand and then have the elbow on a block. Have an elbow on a block which is directly underneath your shoulder. So that's really important. That's a structural kind of point of the pose. And then have the right hand on the hip. Now at this stage, left hand on the hip. Now at this stage, you probably feel like this right seat bone becomes really heavy and this left one becomes light. So I want you to really consciously stamp from the shoulder into the elbow into the block. And then lengthen consciously from the elbow across into that left seat bone. So try and get that left elbow to really activate. Lengthening the shoulder, lengthening the across from that elbow into the left hip. Turn the chest, turn the top shoulder, and then reach up and over, keeping the arms straight. Pressing that left seat bone away from the right elbow, really deeply. Pressing that left seat bone into the floor so that the seat bones become more level and you get that tremendous stretch along the left side of the body. Look underneath the armpit. And then come back to the centre and then over to the side. I think that elbow was slightly beyond the shoulder and it was difficult to get levelness at the seat bones. So really try and find that structural base of the pose. So just feel that you're sitting evenly and then reach underneath the left knee and then bring the elbow directly underneath the shoulder. Push that elbow into the floor and then stretch across into that right seat bone so that the seat bones become level. When the elbow's directly underneath the shoulder, that levelness of the hips is much easier. So push the elbow into the block and lengthen across from the elbow into the right seat bone. And then lift the right arm up and over, keeping it straight. Looking underneath the armpit. Again, another sinus clearer. Keep that right seat bone consciously stamping down into the floor so that the seat bones feel level, or as level as you can get them. Feeling that tremendous stretch along the right side of the torso. Okay, and then gently come back To the centre, hold onto your knees. Feel levelness at the seat bones. And lift the chest, elevating the heart area upwards. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. So turn to the right. Digging that back hand into the floor. Again, maintaining levelness at the seat bones. Bringing the torso between the two hips. Drawing the abdomen across the ribs and the shoulders, keeping the neck soft. Just looking forwards rather than over the shoulder. And then come back to the centre. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards. Drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation. And then turn to the left. Breathing even deep inhalations and exhalations, turning with the exhalation. And then gently come back to the centre. Just move your equipment out of the way, come down onto your back and into supta, baddangulyasana, soles of the feet together, knees apart. Lay yourself down onto the floor. If there's stiffness in your hips, then stamp the heels together consciously. If that doesn't get rid of the stiffness, then put blocks underneath the outsides of the thighs. So everyone stamp the heels together. Press the outside edge of the feet together. Press the big toes together. Have the insteps stretching away from each other. Lengthen from the inner knees into the inner groins, from the inner groins into the inner knees. From the inner groins stretching outwards into the inner knees, from the inner knees to the outer knees, and the outer knees along the outsides of the legs and into the heels. From the inner heels into the inner calf muscles, onto the inner knee, the outer knee, and then from the outer knee up into the outer hip. So there's a figure of 8 action around the legs. Just find that firmness. Tuck the tailbone in, draw the belly button to the spine. Stretch your arms up to the ceiling, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and extend your arms along the floor. If there's stiffness in your shoulders, then just put some blocks or a folded blanket underneath your hands to support your shoulders. Otherwise, just use the floor. So keeping this pose active rather than completely passive. It can be a passive pose, but you get more sensitivity from it when you consciously activate it. Raise your arms up to the ceiling, swap the interlock of the fingers so that the other index finger is on the top of the stack, and then turn the hands out and then stretch your arms along the floor. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then release your arms, just relax into the pose for a moment, let the legs fall apart. Have your hands resting on your lower ribs and just observe the breath. Observe the breath from the outside. Feel it from the inside. Bring your knees together. Bend your knees in towards your chest and stretch your legs up to the ceiling just for a moment or two. Just viparita, karanhi. If you struggle to lift your legs, you can put a block underneath your lower back. Just to help you to lift around the sacrum of your back. Put the lift underneath there and then raise the legs up. Keep the effort in the legs, keep the kneecaps tight and keep the fronts of the legs turning inwards. So the backs of the legs turn outwards. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Okay, and then bend your knees, bring the feet back down onto the floor. And then straighten yourself out along the mat. Just come up onto your elbows, make sure you're in a really good straight line, and then have a folded blanket underneath your head or a cushion underneath your head. And then just gently allow the body to rest into the ground. Consciously the muscles of the arms and the legs to unhook. Unhook from the bones so that the body becomes heavy on the ground. And then out of that heaviness comes a feeling of energetic lightness that radiates from the bones and into the muscles. Into the organs, including the flesh and the skin. Just radiating that energy from the bones and into the muscles and the organs, using your breath to distribute it evenly. Breathe your energy into the toes, into the fingers, and all the way up into the top of the head. Just basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. Just savouring this moment of complete relaxation. Bringing positive energy into the limbs and into the head. Distributing that positive energy evenly throughout the body. When you're ready, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. And then bend your knees, bring your knees in towards your chest and have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then very gently roll onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just final cross legs. With your hands in the masti, a final spinal lift. Close your eyes and draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning. That good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. And with an exhalation, draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created around the heart area. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. To people, to places, to things that need our positive energy. And then very gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Just bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb, just a gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry with us into our day as an intention. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy, given yourself good, positive energy to put into your day. So thank you very much for joining me.